All right, it is currently 5:35 p.m. And so you're looking at what is the maintenance of engineered light. This is the same engineered light that you see reaching into the depths of my hallways, right into the depths of an apartment, the depths of my hallways. This is the engineered light you see reaching through the depths of my living room onto my living room wall and then scraping down, moving across the floor through what are closed blinds and what is allegedly the sunrise while I'm documenting the pattern of conduct, the demonic imitation of the natural environment where under no circumstances and where no scientific evidence will ever be provided to corroborate or establish in any federal prosecution with regard to what is federal group stalking and monitoring, which is criminal conduct that's occurring in that phenomenon and that phenomenal environment, that this is going to be the sun that's outside of the window of the same apartment. It's 5:35 p.m. And the significance of that impossible light that first of all is coming through magnified in size on the bed through closed blinds. That's a phenomenon, first of all, number one. Number two, the fact that it is 5:35 p.m., 5:36 now, and the entity is maintaining a light source while I am showing you evidence of what is as early as 6:45 in the morning, as though this would be the same sun that would be visible through any window anywhere on this property at the end of the day. And I want to be clear, 6:45, we can even say 7. Let's just count from 7. Okay, it's equally impossible. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is over 10 and a half hours from what's a sunrise, which I am daily observing and documenting here as I remain inside of 1806 North Alvarado Street in Los Angeles, California. And I also want to point out something else to you before I give you a play-by-play tutorial on demonic activity. And this is the environment where the Los Angeles Police Department has engaged in wildly psychotic in concert with the people of the state. These are demons that are engaging in surveillance together. All right. They are crossing paths with specific knowledge of where I'm located and what I'm doing, not only physically inside of my apartment, but on the internet, on my communication device. As I pointed out, demons such as Camden and Marie, who share this wall where you are walking in your apartment. It's not going to create any sort of earthquake. It's not going to be amplified in size. Where demons are crossing paths where the sun is rising and setting, that's a demon that knows exactly where I'm located and what I'm doing and what I'm stating. It's documented impunity attributed to the whole state while you're documenting what is ongoing crossing of path conduct. This is also demonic activity. This is the same impossible light that's coming through closed blinds at 5:35 in the afternoon while you are also remembering what I am doing on this same day in 2022, where I remained at what was the Upland Public Library. The Upland Public Library is located at 450 North Euclid Avenue. And at 5:35 p.m., which I want you to see on video, you're going to witness again what is the phenomenon. This is May 5th. On May 4th, I didn't capture video, but I will show you video that I captured on May 5th, same time of year. This is 5:35 p.m. You're looking at what is 450 North Euclid Avenue in Upland, California. And this is where I was at this time of year. That's May 5th, 2024. This is May 5th, 2022, which is directly relevant because this is supposed to be the natural environment and this is not the natural environment. This is impossible light activity. This is also speaking to as you isolate the universe and document what is the pattern of conduct here where LAPD is acting in conformity to the state's criminal system in the specific environment where you're looking at impossible light that's manifesting down here on the shaded side of a building, but you're looking at what is the sun that's above that. That's impossible light activity as those sunlight ricochets off of objects at a great distance, creating any light. This is all impossible light. This is also where demons are stalking. That's surveillance. There are demons crawling around in engineered light, and it's evidence against all of the state. That's why you have the light source at 5:35 p.m. What they're driving under is impossible because this is the sun that's over me at 450 North Euclid Avenue while you're understanding what is entirely demonic and the means of state surveillance, crossing path and maintaining presence in that environment, systematically group stalking, engaging in a documented sex offense while the people are acting pursuant to that pattern of conduct. I'm gonna let you know what they also are. Their secret is that they're also demons. The demon possessed are engaging in what is criminal surveillance. There is absolutely no sunlight. Let me turn this on. There is no sunlight that's going to appear in my bedroom through closed blinds at 5:35 in the evening, where I am inside of 1806 North Alvarado Street in Los Angeles, California. In addition to that, there is no sun that's going to be present, visible through the windows of the same exact address 10 and a half hours after witnessing the sunrise through the same window window of the exact same apartment, which is literally on the opposite side facing the hillside, where the people of the state are also engaging what is relevant positioning surrounding the targeted individual who was subject to this demonic system of state surveillance and federal stalking on the venue of the internet. In addition to that, you have what is literally what you're looking at right here is the specific environment. Look at that side by side. This is 450 North Euclid Avenue in Upland, California. This right here is 1806 North Alvarado Street in Los Angeles, California. And you're looking at what are literally the two environments that are entirely impossible to coexist. And also what I'm going to show you at this location at 450 North Euclid Avenue, which is the Upland Public Library. It's a state facilitating venue where the entity was engaging in what is massive group stalking by helicopter in the same way. Engaging in what is group stalking, let me pause this so you can hear me. Engaging in group stalking at this venue via the Upland Police Department in the same way that the Los Angeles Police Department are engaging in the heavily documented pattern of conduct of stalking in helicopters in the ways that I continue to publish. So you have what is maintaining my list while they're systematically flying over. So in addition to what is 2:27, you've got 3:36 p.m., 3:41 p.m., 4:26 p.m., 4:35 p.m., and I'm just adding on to what is the list where LAPD is just continuously flying over my apartment all day long, documented as early, it was before 9:30, but I started listing it while the entity engaged in its ongoing demonic methods of harassment and surveillance for engagement in what is group stalking and monitoring. This is what the Upland Police Department are doing in the specific environment where, by the way, the sun is not going to possibly be present both here and while I am at 450 North Euclid Avenue, where not only are you looking at, again, this is the light source that's over me in Upland, California at the same exact time, same time of year. And I just want to remind you, not only could that not possibly be the sun, that's not possibly the sun, the natural environment, that's the light source. This is revealing to you what is demonic activity while the entity does things such as aim light into the depths of my hallway, such as aim light across my bed, aim light underneath my bed, aim light through what are closed blinds while you're looking at the light source hovering over the building 1818, and you're looking at the engineered light that's all over the grounds. I also want you to be aware of the fact that not only during this time of year in 2022 at 5:35 am I in an entirely different region, and the entity is maintaining the light source up above my head at 450 North Euclid Avenue, which is the Upland Public Library, where this entity engaged in kidnapping upon criminal defamation because they are hostile to being documented engaging in the state's criminal pattern of conduct, and specifically the fact that they are sex offenders monitoring in bathrooms. These demons, in the same way that they're engaging in surveillance inside of the private space in the workplace, engage in ongoing obsessive harassment by helicopters and in relevant position amongst the engineered light. The entity is aiming engineered light all inside of the bathrooms, all around the bathrooms, while demons were pacing in and out of both the women and the men's bathroom for purposes of surrounding behavior in that environment, and they're sex offenders, and the entity engaging in what is criminal defamation and kidnapping by the Upland Police Department, who are documented group stalkers using helicopters and stalking in police vehicles. This is the venue where on this day, on May 5th, I'm at the same address, by the way. I'm at the same address. This is the Upland Public Library where I am present. I want you to see that. May 5th, 2022 at 10:14 in the morning. I am at the same address. This is the Upland Public Library.
I just want to be clear. This is, again, under the suggestion that this is the sun that will be necessarily over the roof in order to create what is light that's manifesting on the inside. Light that
this
remains,
is engineered light.
At the same...
The engineered light that you see on my bed, that you see all over my bed through what are closed blinds, magnified in size, in the same way in the morning. This is the room where I'm in the living room and the entity is engaging in a demonic imitation of the natural environment. If this is the sun that is present in Upland, California at 450 North Euclid Avenue at 10:14 in the morning, there is never going to be any sun rising and remaining for the duration of the day, especially while I'm going to my apartment. And when I remain in my apartment, it's outside of this window at 10:14 in the morning. It's over my head outside of building 1810 at 10:14 in the morning. That is not coexisting with being at 1806 North Alvarado Street in Los Angeles, California. Never will there be any sunlight, which of course you know that that's not sunlight. That's the same engineered light that you see appearing above my head on the ceilings, that you see when I open my front door, and you're looking at the shadow of leaves on trees blowing while I'm opening the front door. This is the engineered light while the entity is maintaining on this day, on May 5th, 2022 at 10:14 in the morning. This is the light source that's over me in Upland, California, and this is where it remained on May 5th, 2022. The light source remained at that same address. And so this is 10:14 in the morning. Hold on, let me see if I can show you. The light source itself. There's a light source directly over my head at 10:14 in the morning on May 5th, 2022.
Sun is only right here because this is where
All
I'm
right, this
standing.
is where I'm
Because when I come
located,
from the
inside of
study
the
rooms,
library.
the entity places the fake sun, as you can see it through the roof inside of the Upland Public Library where it's at. The entity is keeping it. It has nothing to do with what is the placement of directed light. The entity is doing gymnastics with what.
So what I want you to understand is you're witnessing demonic activity. This is engineered light. This is impossible to coexist. While at 10:14 in the morning, the light source remains at the Upland Public Library, and you're understanding what is the secret of those who are stalking in that environment. Not only is this criminal stalking that's underway by a government, that's the Los Angeles Police Department acting in the shoes of the state. That's called group stalking under what is not possibly the natural environment, and that's a sex offender that knows what I'm saying, engaging in group stalking by crossing path in that engineered light. That's why you have that unnatural environment. That's exactly what they were doing at the Upland Public Library, where the sun remains present at this time on May 5th, 2022. That's demonic pacing. One demon crossing path, another demon crossing path on the side. This is what they're doing on an ongoing basis. Cockroaches and engineered light, keeping you under surveillance and stalking in concert with the state that does so via helicopters. This is state surveillance in the state of California. It's America's version of terrorism, and it's also a sex offense because the entity is keeping me under surveillance inside of the private space. And so I just also want to remind you, on this day, this is at 10:14 in the morning. I'm at 450 North Euclid Avenue, where you can clearly see this light source over my head. Inside of the Upland Public Library. That's the light source. And I remain at the Upland Public Library. And that's exactly what I'm capturing. It's currently 5:47 in the afternoon right now. May 5th. At 5:35, I'm at the same address,
at the same exact
and I'm still at the same library.
Well, not exactly. I'm in front of
That's
the exit.
impossible light
So
activity.
this morning, as I'm
That's
standing
called
in front of
stalking
the
with
entrance,
light.
the light source is right here.
That's called stalking with the light source. This is what the entity is doing here in Los Angeles, where the entity is engaging what is rising a sun. That's Hector Aparicio. He's going to federal prison. He's a sex offender. Him and his children are engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, which are serious federal offenses, and they're going to federal prison for that. His minor son is going to be prosecuted as a group stalker, okay? And they're engaging in a federal offense right now while they're moving around in the engineered environment. This is the significance of the government's ability to keep you under surveillance in concert with the population, the people of the state. That's why you have that phenomenon, as I'm documenting it, in Upland, California, which is not visible over the roof of building 1818, visible through my bedroom window, creating any light activity whatsoever. This is also the case where you are looking at what was 10:14 in the morning on May 5th, 2022 to 5:35 at the same address at 450 North Euclid Avenue. And then you're looking at it at the same time while I'm nowhere near Upland, California. The documented presence of the light source is remaining here as a matter of 6:45 in the morning, which I'll upload in evidence to remind you about what it is that has already been captured, which is surrounding the state with what is the irreducible evidence of what is, first of all, the phenomenon. And in the phenomenon, the entity is group stalking and monitoring and engaging what is highly psychotic and mentally deranged methods of stalking. And it is also designed to what is silence the targeted individual because it is so unbelievable. It is so deranged. It is so demonic. It is so unfathomable that the government is engaging in that no one is supposed to believe the targeted individual. But that does not work with the P.O.C. That does not work with what our evidence, which you cannot in any way support, scientifically, with regard to what is the unmistakable presence of an engineered environment. This is engineered light that you see moving all around, having engineered light on the sides of buildings. Let me show you this detailed engineered light down here. This is impossible light activity. It's appearing underneath a covered walkway. It's appearing in the depths of a hallway. It's appearing while the sun is supposedly over 450 North Euclid Avenue at the same time. It's appearing over the top of the building while the entity is aiming light into my bedroom window. That's how you are understanding what are first of all, they're demons. They're not just criminals. I'm not just prosecuting for the state that's stalking me, that's making me the most important person in the universe. I'm also prosecuting because this is demon possession. Understand the two are together. They are demons who are engaging in state surveillance in the United States, and this is not only happening in California. By virtue of the entity engaging what is stalking in the engineered environment, it is designed to appear in plain sight, so you're never questioning it. And by virtue of engaging in what is the demonic imitation of the natural environment, which beforehand you were never paying attention to. You were never paying attention to that. You are paying attention to what is the maintenance of the engineered environment, where at the same address, 535 in the that is not here. That's 450 North Euclid Avenue. That is not 1806 North Alvarado Street, and I cannot see 450 North Euclid Avenue. We do not show any sky space. There's never going to be any sun aiming through my window, especially through closed blinds, especially where the entity is rising the sun here. The two are mutually exclusive, and it's all impossible under all circumstances because you have what is the same address. the same address at 450 North Euclid Avenue from 10 to 5 p.m. That time frame right there is capturing the P.O.C. The ongoing documented maintenance of the presence of the light source. Let me be clear. The entity is maintaining a light source from the beginning to the end of the day, covering it up in the morning, which is where you've already demonstrated a demonic imitation of the natural environment, so that it also follows you are also engaging what is the ability to conceal that light source, especially where you're sex offending group stalking psychopaths aware of the fact that you're monitoring also on the venue of the internet. Under no grounds is that any way rebutting where you are able to engage in what is demonic imitation of the natural environment, keeping a light source all day. You are capable of doing the same, concealing that light source. In order to show it at any later hour, it is equally impossible. It's never going to be the natural environment. And you never, by the way, forget what was already documented, not only on May 5th, 2022, but was already captured here in Los Angeles at 1806 North Alvarado Street, where you're engaging what is imitating the sunrise outside of my apartment window. There's never going to be anything remotely close to what is at 5 p.m. keeping what is the sun. That is evidence of what is not possibly the sun ever going to be over the state, anybody in the state of Nevada, let alone in Florida. This is demonic pacing. They're driving in opposite directions. This is the demon-possessed population. They're engaging in this. And this is what demons are doing, flying helicopters. This is what LAPD, the entire department is demon infected, which is also the case with regard to what is the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. And these are the law enforcement agencies who are engaging in the state system in concert with the people. Everybody that lives at the crime scene, an intolerable level of criminal facilitation, federal prison all the way around all 59 units. All 59 units, okay? That's impunity, and that's a demon that's looking to the left while she knows that's that underage minion who's going to be prosecuted, okay? Affiliated with Susana Martinez, and that poor child, she has a demon and she needs mental assistance. She's gonna get that. As an underage group stalker, exhibiting impunity, exhibiting that same psychotic behavior, that ongoing obsession, underage or not, she's going to be subject to mental examinations, and it's going on her criminal record as a sex offender, group stalking with the people. I wanna be clear, the people of the state are monitoring and engaging in federal offenses with minors all over. They're doing so under a light source that is not over anywhere near the Upland Public Library, and that is the prosecution also of the entity. Group stalking in a library, engaging in the sex offense in bathrooms with minor children, engaging in activity creation via minor children, just like you see the demon-possessed doing here in relevant position. It is currently, again, 5:52 p.m. That's, again, the federal prosecution of the people of the state. All of the minor children that live at the crime scene are going to be removed from the custody of the people of the state. All 59 units are filled with third-party group stalkers who are going to federal prison. As a matter of justice, that's exactly what you're going to, the consequences that are due to you while you're engaged in ongoing terrorism and psychotic methods of stalking with audible activity with the state that likes to use helicopter activity to communicate a threat while they're monitoring inside of the private space, which is harassment and terrorism by an entity engaged in federal stalking, while they are also stalking in the path, engaging what is terrorism via directed light inside of the private space while you're keeping one under surveillance. The demons of Silverview townhomes are engaging in nothing other than pacing in relevant position under that which is not possibly sent over the Upland Public Library at the same time. And it's the ongoing admission to the world while the demons know that they all are monitoring on the venue of the internet. They're all listening to me. And while you're looking at them still engaging in activity creation, this is the demon-possessed population telling you that they are a threat to your safety, that they are a threat to your well-being, and they are hostile to your knowledge of both their condition and their criminal conduct. You are gaining all of that reasonably from that criminal activity that I just captured outside of my window in this specific environment. All right, I want you to pay attention to what I will be publishing again, and that is my podcast, the P.O.C., the pattern of conduct. And I have documented thousands of the people of the state within this pattern of conduct, and it is documenting even more than what I've captured as I have moved to LA. I have captured for years the people of the state engaging in the seamless ability for the entity to engage in state surveillance, massive, broad, unimaginable levels of state surveillance by the people, on the freeways, on the roads and the highways, going into any and every store, every place that you're at, and into the neighborhoods while the entity keeps the fake sun everywhere that I travel. Now that I'm remaining at one address, the entity is engaging in the literally idiotic ongoing admission against the people that they're keeping the light source from the beginning to the end of the day. That is the ongoing corroborating evidence of that, which I have already established beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay, the Los Angeles Police Department is going to be disbanded. This is the environment where they are engaged in. Sorry if you can't see, I'm aiming my camera. They are documented and engaged in ongoing obsessive stalking while they're monitoring on my communication devices, engaging in what is more, increased stalking by helicopter just to communicate a threat, just to harass. The demons that are living at Alvarado Gardens, these demons are engaged in ongoing psychotic methods of noise activity, which is amplified in sound. This is what they're doing in the laundry room while I'm sitting in my office. Those are demons, they just go in stalking with noise. with every move that I make, slamming the machines while the light source is remaining over my office, not outside of my bedroom window, not over the up and public library. It's entirely psychotic what the entity is doing, and that is why, as a matter of federal prosecution, every group stalker, state actor and third party, are subject to mental examinations, those over and under the age of majority. Those minor children documented engaged as group stalking, they will be subject to what are necessary mental examinations, having been subjected to this criminal system, having been trained through the psychotic and terrorizing, being literally reared up in criminal conduct in concert with the government. They are subject to and requiring mental examinations, and that sort of examination that you are in need of by virtue of documentation of the pattern of conduct. All right, so I just wanted you to see that. This is evidence that is already published. I will share it to the G drive, so that the Google Drive, so that you can look at the video itself. This is 5:35 p.m. The entity engages in what is setting the light source in alignment to my apartment, so it remains even after 5 p.m. The entity is engaged in a pattern of this terrorism, as I documented, keeping the light source over me while I am, again, in Ontario, California, having left Upland on this day, on May 5th. This is engineered light that's, hold on, I want you to see, that's engineered light that you, let me minimize this so that you can see, so that you can see what it is that I am referring to. The entity is maintaining engineered light on the building of the, here you go. This is the, if you're paying, sorry, if you're looking at this
Not
building
a
right
direct
now,
light going in this
you can
direction,
look at amber light,
that's
and it's
coming
all in
this
the street.
direction,
They're driving in it.
and
They're monitoring
driving in it.
systematically in
It doesn't
traffic.
disappear. That's directed
It's
light.
crossing the path over and over and over again in engineered light that's appearing on their vehicles. And it's all over the building. That's the demonic objective. That's why you go to the extent, that's the sunrise at, and let me be clear, this address right here at Euclid Avenue and Holt Boulevard, where I would wake up in the morning at that same intersection, the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, at 7 in the morning, the light source is rising over me at that same address, while the entity is in Los Angeles, now that I'm here, group stalking me here, rising and setting the light source in Los Angeles, specifically over the property. Through the windows of both of my apartment, my living room window and my bedroom window, that's the sunrise. Through my bedroom window is the sunset. While the entity engaged in what is this documented pattern of keeping the sunrise over the Ontario Museum of History and Arts at 225 South Euclid Avenue. This is the same intersection, Holt and Euclid Avenue, where I am standing at that same intersection at 7 in the evening. And this is where the entity is maintaining a light source, because this is where I'm located, keeping the light source all day long. And this is massive surveillance that's underway by the people of the state. And it is speaking to a demon-possessed population. They are unilaterally demonstrating their demon possession via the directed light behavior. Okay? This is what Silverview townhomes are engaging in. They're doing it on camera. They're doing it on Todd Speaker's watch, both that property management company, which is also the third-party employer, criminally facilitating this criminal system, which is a threat to the life of the targeted individual, which is engaging in what is the criminal facilitation of exceedingly violent sex offense, an exceedingly violent sex offense committed by a public entity, which is going to be appreciated under federal law. All right, I want to be clear, every single last third party that lives at the facilitating venue engaging in the criminal system is going to federal prison. This is 59 units that are filled with third-party group stalkers engaging in this unfathomable level of terrorism. This is America's version of terrorism, and they are violent sex offenders engaging in what are terrorism, sexual violence, and harassment while they are engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. It's group stalking. Group stalking is committed by demons. It's demonic activity. It is the criminalization of that, because this is the environment that is, again, maintained around the targeted individual. These are the demon-possessed who are maintaining presence in a demonic environment where the sun rises and sun sets wherever the target individual is at. And at nightfall, the moon is over the target individual as well. That's a well-documented pattern. And in that specific environment, the entity engages in stalking in helicopters to terrorize the target individual. All right, that is P.O.C. It is currently 5:59 p.m. I want you to look at that sunset. While the entity is maintaining engineered light throughout my bedroom, you are aware of the fact that the entity is engaging in this pattern on a daily basis with knowledge of the fact that it's being documented, and that's an ongoing, heavily documented pattern of impunity and malice, for which prolonged time in federal prison is going to be the result. And you are disbanding the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. You're disbanding the Los Angeles Police Department. Psychopaths and violent sex offenders. Violent sex offenders. Okay? These are the ticking time bombs. That's P.O.C.